Hey, shalom, shalom from your Dutch Uncle John.
So, hello, Mr. Kostik.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you? I was gonna call this, you know how sometimes the radio does things like, oh, this is the barbecue, this is the cookout, yada yada. I was trying to find a biblical way to do something like that, but I couldn't come up with anything. But it's a meeting call, I guess. Welcome to the meeting
Okay.
call. Who or what kind of made you want to start your study of the Hebrew Bible?
Well, I guess ultimately it's the Holy Spirit, but I had a neighbor down the road here who had a business, and I stopped in one day to buy something from him, and we just got to talking. He was a Jewish man from Israel, and I went back the next day to get something else, and we became friends, and I would sit and talk for an hour every day, and I would try to tell him about Jesus. He didn't want to hear it. And he said, "You show me Jesus in Hebrew in the Old Testament, and then I'll listen." And so that was kind of him throwing down the gauntlet and challenging me to know some Hebrew. And he actually did start teaching me the alphabet. And so that was where it all began.
So, and when did you want to start your channel?
You know, I was telling I was finding these incredible discoveries, and I would try to tell my family and my neighbors and my and best friends and worst friends, and nobody seemed to be wowed like I was wowed by it, because it's some pretty wowing stuff in the Bible in the original language,
Oh yes, sir.
and I just got so frustrated that nobody wants to hear this or nobody is seeing the wowness, and so the channel kind of got born. That was I actually did have a very good friend who had a granddaughter, and my first video was to her, the Bereshit video,
Ah,
and I'm not related to her. I'm her Dutch uncle. So I began that video by saying "Shalom, shalom" from your Dutch Uncle John, because she knows me as her Dutch Uncle John,
so
and the name stuck.
yeah, so you've kind of become the Dutch uncle from everybody.
Yeah, and I called her and said, "Hey, I made a little video. I wanted to explain something to you," and told her to tune in. And then next thing I know, 1.6 million other people have tuned in.
Wow. Yes. Well, you were speaking about your first videos, and I also wanted to talk about because you had like your first videos that I truly saw were the like Rose of Sharon the Thorns videos.
Yeah,
And I could tell it was like one video split up into three parts. But you received a phone call on that video. Do you remember that?
yeah, it was a joke.
It was a joke. Okay, well I was gonna say, hey, how did that turn out? If that was true or not? But it was a joke. Okay, so
Yeah, we throw jokes in there to keep people awake.
yes.
And back then, I didn't have an editor. I didn't know anything about making videos, especially how to even assemble three pieces into one video. That's why it's in three parts, because
Ah,
I filmed it in three parts.
well, that's cool. That's cool. It
Yeah, I since found an editor who knows how to uh, cut and splice and things like that.
ah
So now it looks like people think a lot of times that our videos are live. That when I have a premiere on Saturday morning, I'm there live giving it.
well, you have that mouse right beside you, and we see every now and then you move and click every now and then. I think so. I think that's one of the reasons why we think it's live.
Ah, no, and it's not live. I usually do have try. I usually keep that hidden. But anyway, they're not live. They are very time consumingly produced.
Oh, I can understand that. I can understand that.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're cutting stuff and splicing and getting rid. Oh my, re-recording.
Yo, wow.
So
That's me with my YouTube channels as well. So,
yeah, but it's fun.
yep. Well, I was gonna say, I was gonna ask what kind of video editor and thumbnail maker you use, but since you said you're not the one that does that, that question's out the window.
Well, the thumbnails now, I know how to do that.
Ah,
I can import a picture and on PowerPoint and put a
that's
title and things like that. So I do all of that and put in the tags and uh, all of this. The editor, she lives in Kyrgyzstan,
ah,
and so I send her. Or we film most of them in Kyrgyzstan. So, but if I film one here, I can upload it to something, and she finds it and puts
wow,
the slides in.
that's cool. So you're saying you use PowerPoint for your thumbnails?
I use PowerPoint for everything.
Wow, that's thank you for that tip. Because the reason why I asked is because I'm also trying to figure out some thumbnails for my own channel. So thank you for that. I'm gonna
Mhm.
keep that in the head. Um, well, did I was gonna say, did you expect where you would be today with over 56,000 subscribers?
No, that's amazing, and I don't even know what that really means. My friends tell me like, "Wow, that's a really good number," and or you know, I don't know. I don't follow how many subscribers or how many viewers, or I figure if people want to watch it, they watch it. That's good.
Ah, ah.
We
So
don't we don't get paid either from YouTube.
really?
No, and I did that on purpose at the beginning because if you agreed to be paid, they're going to flash an ad on the screen, and if they flash an ad, it interrupts the Hebrew teaching, and I didn't want that, so I opted for I don't want money. Just don't put ads on my video. It now has turned out that I think I don't have a say in it because I put so many videos or something that they do put ads on my videos. I've noticed it. Um,
Yes, I've noticed that with some of mine.
yeah,
Um,
so it is what it is. But
yeah.
we don't get paid from it from the YouTube.
Oh wow. Well, I you already have explained this to me why you wear the Hard Rock T-shirts, but I think some of your viewers, if they ever see this video, might would like to know the Hard Rock Cafe explanation.
Well, it just became easy to wear this in my life, and my goal is to visit every country on the planet. I've been to many, most, and it's always safe to go to the Hard Rock and get a good American hamburger if you're someplace crazy, and uh, and you might as well get a shirt and let people know where you've been. And I just started this years ago, and when I made the videos, I didn't change. That's just what I wear every day, and there's just a nice tie-in because Jesus is the solid rock,
Yep.
and so it works.
Yes,
It
sir.
works for me.
Yep. How what was your favorite Hard Rock Cafe you've ever been to and of yours?
Uh, I thought Myrtle Beach was cool because it was shaped like a pyramid. That was neat. Um, and there are just some that are they're really in obscure places, and they not may not be anything special when you get there, but it was a lot of fun getting there.
Well, I've noticed you have these promos every now and then to go to places to speak and everything. What was your most memorable time or place of speaking?
Yeah, now those promos are for the Feast of Tabernacles, Sukkot. I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, the church saw my first video and invited me to come and be the speaker for 7 nights. So we do a promo every year um, for that event. It's usually September, October. Um, near it's in what town? Seymour, Tennessee. It's
Ah,
near Knoxville. So, and I think this year it's 29 October, maybe? No, 29 September through 6 October.
Ah,
So if you're in the neighborhood, come in, come out and look.
yes. Well, of course, I am one state away, so it's just
Yeah,
one really big step.
yes. But
Um,
so those are the promos that we do for that. A lot of other places I do speak out of the country, but they're in a lot of countries that I'm not really allowed to go and speak. So we don't show pictures or videos or, look, hey, he went here. I'm invited, but I'm invited as a tourist, and then I may say a few words or hours worth of words when I'm there.
so what do you mean not allowed? You mean like China and they kick you out for being Christian, or
Yeah, it's not China. I have not been there, but there are many other countries that are not so favorable to
us?
Christian
Yeah.
teaching Hebrew.
Ah, so I think I understand where you're talking about now.
Well, there's a lot of countries like this. So I don't usually show, at the end of my videos, it'll always say, for speaking inquiries, and I get a lot of invitations. I get a lot of invitations from other countries.
Wow.
I get the one in Seymour every year from America, and one or two other in America, but not many. I mean,
Ah,
we always say we should be sending missionaries to China or missionaries to Africa or to India. No, those places they need to send missionaries to America. America is the one that's
yeah.
having problems.
Well, has anybody ever kind of caught you off guard and introduced themselves to you like, "Oh, hey, John Kostik, it's John Kostik." Has anybody ever done that to you before?
Just as I'm out and about traveling,
Yes, sir.
uh, there was one time there was a church in a Asian country, and I spoke in one of the major cities, and then I was just going to go take a few days vacation, or I don't know, just go hang out in a beach resort for 2 or 3 days. And the preacher, there was a preacher in that beach town who was told that I was coming to his town and that he should meet me and we should talk. And when we met, he invited me to come to his pastor's meeting the next morning at 10 o'clock.
Ah,
And I agreed. And when I showed up at the pastor's meeting, the pastors were finishing their meeting, and then I was going to speak for an hour. And they were saying their final prayer, and there's a guy in the back row, and they said, Amen. He turned around and looked at me, and then he looked closer and he pointed and said, you are Dutch uncle. What are you doing here? It was in a very small church in the middle of nowhere in a non Christian country, but he's watched the videos on YouTube and he turned around and saw me standing there in my Hard Rock shirt and wondered, what in the heck are you doing here?
yeah, that's funny, and yeah,
That was fun. It
yeah,
was
yeah, that's
That's the
funny.
only person that ever recognized me that I know of.
Wow. Well, I was gonna say, you have a bird in one of your videos. Do you remember the bird? I think we see him in one of the Hebrew alphabet videos.
Yeah,
Is
the
that
letter Dalit.
yeah, yes, sir. Is that your actual bird or is that a friend's?
I was visiting some friends in New Zealand, and it was time to film, and we taped a map to the wall, and they had a bird, and I said, "Let's put the bird in the." He was a mean bird. Uh, he didn't like strangers.
Ah,
I kind of left him alone. He just sat there. A lot of people thought there was some tie-in with the video, but there wasn't. It's just we had a bird.
well, I do know in one of your I'm a fan, but I don't know the name of the video. You have a headset on like this, and you're yelling like a gamer. What do you remember that?
uh,
I think
yeah, that was uh, when I was explaining the word salvation in Hebrew is Yeshuat, and it's Yeshua, Jesus, and the letter Tav, which is a cross. So I was just making the point, maybe to my Jewish friends, that the word salvation is Jesus and the cross.
Yeah. And you have a whole lot of you're saying you travel to countries, and I have a friend who's French and Christian. You know who you are, buddy. Have you ever been to France before? Paris, France, or anywhere like that?
I changed planes in the airport once in Paris.
Hi, changed planes. So, buddy, you've
I've been
got
to
a
other places. I've been to other places in France. I just haven't been to Paris.
so that's cool. That's cool. And you also have a whole lot of like your thumbnails are amazing. I'm just looking at them, and you've got to not talk pie. You've got two of yourself doing this and everything. But my favorite, other than the where you're looking at the Antichrist and everything's upside down, my favorite is the Rapture, where you've got your shirt standing like this and your eyeglasses. Was that hard for you to do?
Uh, no, had to get some thread, and it
Just some
took
thread.
three of us to do it.
Ah,
And yeah, I come up with these schemes and say, "This is what I want to do next." And we're in Kyrgyzstan, and is we end up doing it. So they stop. I've explained to them with God, all things are possible. So I don't know. It was maybe Elisha part 4. We stopped a river. Did you notice that one?
Elijah Part 4. I'm sorry. I am a fan, but I forget a few of these, and I feel
That's
bad
okay.
about it.
But Elisha struck the waters of the Jordan and it stopped flowing. And there was a river near where I stay in Kyrgyzstan, and we were able to duplicate that miracle and in Elisha part 4. And it's just fun to say to my helpers there and friends, hey, I need this. It's going to be a 20-second clip, and we're going to stop the river. And they're like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, we've stopped the river and we filmed our 20-second clip and put it in the video. It's fun to come up with these crazy ideas.
Yes. Well, I see here the Spring Modium. You're holding a baguette. Let me ask you: have you eaten that baguette, or was that a just plastic baguette?
No, it was probably real.
Probably delicious
I
too,
probably
huh?
ate it.
Yes. And then your video about a day in the death, where these grains of sand are like 1,000 years, and or like 1 billion years or whatever, and these are all how long you'll be spending in hell or whatever. So get Jesus and be saved. When you're walking on the beach, were you trying to pull off like what the Beatles did in Abbey Road?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool because here's the thing. I saw that video, and the day I saw that video, I just bought the Abbey Road record.
Okay.
So I was thinking, wait a second, did he actually do this? Hold up a second now. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I think the guy in the front was wearing white.
Yeah.
The next guy was wearing black. The guy in the back had a jean jacket, like George Harrison did. And I was third. Um, so we even tried to match the clothing
A little
roughly.
bit, roughly, yeah. And it's nice, we're Christian men, but we're pulling off something the Beatles did too. But when you do also other Genesis chapter 1 verse 1, you do it in like Indonesia and French and Mexican. These are just all your friends, or do you just gotta hire a translator, or how does that
No,
work?
people write to me and say, "Oh, I loved your video. I would love to do it in my language." And I ask, "What's your language?" And I have a blank form I can send them, and they put all the words in their language, and then we build the slides so that they look like Dutch Uncle slides. And then I think I always go to them. And I flew to France to film the one in French. Uh, I flew to India to film the one in Tamil. Uh, yeah, I like to travel, and I'll go and we film it. In fact, we're working on two more Italian and Afrikaans.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, so the
Yes.
slides are done on the Italian. It won't be filmed until July or August, but it's we always have different videos in the works.
Ah, your picture. I've always wondered this. Your picture you have on top of your whole channel and everything. We can see the word AM and then you're blocking the S T Amsterdam. Was that New Amsterdam?
No, that's Amsterdam, Netherlands,
Ah, okay. I was
and
always
their slogan is "I Amsterdam" for their city slogan. "I Amsterdam."
I do not understand
I
that.
It's just what it is, and so in their video there or in that picture they separated it so it's I or I am. Well, I am, that's Yahweh.
I see that now.
Yeah, that was the concept there that I was thinking.
Ah, ah. Well,
It's me and God, me and Yahweh in the Netherlands.
yeah, you're all having fun, and technically, you are both there because he's omnipotent and
Yes,
omnipresent. So that's pretty cool.
and there his name was on the big sign. I am.
Yeah, so that was even more. Well, I think I've run out of a couple of questions. Run out of most of them except your. I think we could probably end with what is your most favorite video you've ever made.
I like the Revelation 1, 2, and 3. It took the longest to put together. And there's colors involved, there's fruit involved, there's just so many different levels that it was just fun to try to even imagine how to put this together and then get all the material and put it together. It
Ah,
was, yeah, it took a lot of work, but the message is, I think, the coolest. So, yeah, I invite you to have a look at that one.
I definitely will. Well, I just remembered. Die-hard John Kostik fans will understand this one. What are you drinking today, my dear sir?
Uh, I think it's raspberry cranberry.
Raspberry cranberry. I think we see that every now and then. So
Once in a while.
once in a
Yeah,
while.
I'm not in Kyrgyzstan now. I'm back in the United States for a couple weeks. So
Yeah.
we don't get the Lubimi cherry juice here.
Yes.
So,
Well,
all right. Well, thank you for inviting me and having this nice chat.
hey, thank you for saying yes and having this nice chat with me. I bet some of my viewers will enjoy it, and I'm gonna try and put so many tags on there that actual John Costic viewers will see. Um, it will be a fun time editing. uh,
Yep.
and yes, well, thank you. I do appreciate this.
Okay. Well, God bless and shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
Bye bye.
Bye.